Hello everyone, Studlord here, and as it has just been Mario Day, with Lego putting a load of sets on sale, I figured it's a good time to see which of the Mario sets will be retiring by the middle of this year, along with the creator sets and also some seasonal ones. Don't forget to like, subscribe and join the channel for exclusive perks and content, but now let's dive in. So we need to kick things off with Peach's Castle Expansion set 71408. Now there are a lot of other Mario sets that will be gone by the end of the year, but I want to focus on the ones that will be disappearing sooner. This is actually going to last longer than the others on this list. Expect it to go around October time. Now whilst personally I'm not a particular fan of any of the expansion sets, this one certainly does offer a good amount of play and definitely some fun looking characters. Now as far as investment goes, I can't particularly advise this one. The forecast over the next 3 years based off of the RRP, which is £115 in the UK and $130 US along with 130 euros, the ROI over the next 3 years forecast off of that price is only 17%. So not one for investment this, but if you are trying to build your Super Mario collection, this is certainly a fun one to add to it, so expect it to disappear around October time of this year. Next up is Peach's Garden Balloon Ride Expansion Set. My favourite thing about this entire one is that we get a little pink Yoshi. Always loved Yoshi, favourite character. What's your favourite Mario character? Let me know below. Now this one retails £45 British, $50, 50 euros. It's going to be going sooner, as I say, around the middle of this year. Next sort of 5 to 6 months and this will be gone. ROI on this one, 20%. So again, not really for investing. That said, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just averages based off of the normal sources. So you'll need to make your own decisions. But personally, I would steer clear, and this does look like a very juniorised one for me, so probably more as a gift for the younger fans, as it's not really bringing anything to us die-hard Mario lovers, who remember spending hours of their time on the video games when they first came out. Now, the next two sets both have a 31% ROI attached to them, which is actually getting pretty reasonable, and they certainly do give us some fun characters. This one is 71360, which is Adventures with Mario, and the other one is the one with Luigi. Now, they're both priced in exactly the same, being 55 British pounds, $60 US and 60 euros. Now just from a play element, I do think that these two offer a little bit more than most of the others that are actually on the list. They're fairly simple to build, they do offer a lot of expansion options and are obviously just good fun to play with. Now at the same price of £55 or $60, 60 euros, we have the Adventures with Peach starter course. The ROI on this one is actually 33%, so a little bit better than the other two. And once again, I do think there's quite good characters in here. Obviously, you can't really compare these to Brickheads, they're just not the same, but they've got a similar sort of look overall about them, I think, and I say that as a Brickheads fan. So yeah, not really comparable obviously, but from a design perspective, style-wise, I actually quite like them. But I do know that they're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But now on to one that I absolutely love. This is the Nintendo Entertainment System set 71374. And I do remember playing Super Mario, and I just think this has a huge amount of nostalgia attached to it. People who never played on this are still probably going to be interested and quite like it. So it has a lot of collector's appeal there, but even more so, of course, for those of us who do actually remember this, who owned one. It's just such a great thing. This, by the way, this doesn't actually come with it. That, I think, is the one that comes with the adventure course. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Can't remember off the top of my head, but you can basically pop it on there and then get the reactions while you turn the lever. But apart from that, it's such a good set, this. I really, really like it. Definitely one for collectors, and because of that, for investment, based off of the RRP, which is 230, retail here in the UK, 270 in the States and in Europe, the ROI is 34%. Now, we have seen this on offer before, as I've covered in some of my Deals of the Week videos, so if you pick it up for less, that ROI becomes even more attractive. But this is such a seriously good set. I really hope that they also do one of the Nintendo 64. I doubt that they will, but I would love it in conjunction with, obviously, Mario Kart. We now know that we're going to be getting at least some Mario Kart sets next year. Obviously, we've already had that Bowser car, which was kind of a nod and a wink towards it, but those will be so fantastic to get. And I remember playing Mario Kart on the Nintendo 64. I think it was probably the best iteration in my opinion, so I would love for that to happen, unlikely as it may be. Still, some Mario Kart sets will be good, but still quite a way to go before 2025, and if you're wanting to get this, it'll be gone by around midway through 2024. So if you've been holding out, now's the time to start scouting for a deal, because you don't want to miss out on this one. And then lastly, out of the Mario sets retiring around the middle of this year is the Super Mario 64 ? Block. 71395. I've always had a mixed feeling about this because whilst I love the idea of the question mark block, I just think it's absolutely brilliant in that sense, the builds that come out of it are a little bit lackluster, to say the least, in my personal opinion. But again, let me know how you feel about it below. It's just a little bit of a shame because when you look at it like that, I think it's absolutely awesome. I love the way that it opens up, done so well. Just a little bit of a letdown what is actually revealed on the inside. However, maybe that is just me because this has a healthy ROI attached to it, and I still would definitely recommend it for anyone who's wanting to get a decent collection. This is not one that you want to miss. So the ROI is 35% over the next 3 years, and that is based off of the RRP, obviously being £170 and $200, 200 euros. So that is pretty healthy, and once again, we have seen it possible to pick this up for less. Shame Lego doesn't have it in their sale at the moment, although it's not really that surprising, already being listed as hard to find, although still with a limit of 5. But yeah, we'll be retiring soon. Now don't forget, the popularity of all of these is only going to go up once we get the new Mario movie coming out. That's coming out in, I think, 2026. Mario 2, once again with the vocal talents of Chris Pratt. I certainly did enjoy the first one, although I also found Super Mario Bros., the original starring Bob Hoskins, quite funny as well, even though it was pretty terrible overall. I certainly preferred him in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now though, it's time to move on and we'll have a look at the creator sets that are going to be disappearing around the middle of this year. The first one being the deep sea creatures. I do think this is pretty cool. You've got the option obviously of building this pretty scary looking shark, alternatively this squid, or the anglerfish, which is probably even more terrifying looking than the shark is. And this really is a decent set, only £13 or $15, 15 euros. Definitely one of the better Creator 3-in-1 sets, because the thing is, whilst I like the concept, when we get other ones, for example the Red Fox that's just recently come out, how much is that priced in at? Okay, £45, I don't know what that is in dollars, probably around 60. That's obviously quite expensive. I know it's more detailed, but if you wanted to build all 3 of the characters, it becomes just a lot more financially difficult to do, whereas something like this, it's a nice low price point, gives 3 cool things that you can build, good for kids, good for adults as well, because it's a nice display piece as well as being fun. Now, all of that said and done, ROI on this one is only 17%. So I certainly don't recommend it from that point of view, but yeah, as a set in itself, definitely one of the better ones that they've done. Next up though, it is the Australia postcard, and this one's always been a little bit of a weird one. I do like the postcards very much, I have them on display, but when you compare it to some of the others which have such iconic landmarks attached to them, you then look at this one and you sort of think, clearly Lego don't think that much of Australia, because their idea of it is just this random shot of the outback with, you know, a kangaroo sign thrown in for good measure. It's a little bit insulting in a way, especially considering how brilliant the Australian version of Lego Masters is, with Brickman and Hamish Blake. It's absolutely awesome. You know, I love the US version. Will Arnett is fantastic. Can't really beat Batman. I'm Batman. And of course, Amy and Jamie as well. But yeah, I do think the Australian version is personally my favourite. So a little bit of a letdown this one. Not a bad price point though. £13.50, $15, 15 euros, 20% ROI over the next 3 years. Of course, that could actually go up because the initial ROI attached to the likes of the Paris postcard was pretty low, and that actually went up a lot higher. So could turn out to be quite a decent little one to tuck away. Now, it's a very similar story for the Beijing postcard, exactly the same pricing and the same ROI. Of course, this is the one that they had to re-release. They've removed the, I think it was the flag that was up here. So if you happen to be one of the few people that somehow managed to get one of those original releases, it's going to be worth a lot more. But for this one, 20% ROI attached to it. Decent little thing. As I said, I do like them. And from a collector's point of view, if you've got the other postcards, you're obviously not going to want to miss out on this one. So make sure to get it before it goes in the next few months. Okay, next up is the Tulips. And although this is the sub-theme of the Botanical Collection, it was released under Creator. Now, listed as last chance, already sold out here on the UK version of Lego. I haven't checked whether it's available in Europe or the States, so let me know if it is below. Pricing though, obviously £9 here in the UK, $10 in the States. Now there are still a few other retailers you can grab this from other than Lego if you've missed out. It's obviously only a very small set, but they are pretty as far as the Tulips go, and it's a pretty small price, so actually not too shabby. ROI on these ones being 23%. Personally though, I'm just a big fan of the botanicals in general. It's fantastic to have flowers made of Lego which you can have on display all year round without having to worry about watering them or making them wilt or anything else. And then we have the Creator 3-in-1 Medieval Castle. Yes, I'm afraid this will be retiring around the middle of this year. It doesn't look like it's going to manage to make it out to the end. So you do not want to miss out on this one if you are even remotely a castle fan. Now obviously you do have 3 build options here, being the castle tower, or the marketplace. But naturally you can also combine these together and mock up a much larger castle if you were to get 3. And the thing is, although that's quite an expensive thing to do, it actually doesn't work out bad on a price per piece basis. I think it's about 6p here in the UK, about 7.5 to 8 cents per piece in the States. So when you compare that to the likes of the pricing of the Lion Knight's castle, actually it starts to look a whole lot more attractive. What a set this is. Obviously this one is the castle of the Black Falcons, and we have now had, obviously from the Bricklink Designer Programme, the Mountain Fortress by Sleepless Night, which is also for the Black Falcons. But considering that that sold out within a few hours, I was one of the lucky ones able to actually get a set, but many people have missed out. If that is you, I know it's not the same thing, so I know it doesn't make up if you've missed out on that Bricklink one and now have to pay a small fortune to get your hands on it, but getting 3 of these and mocking up something really great looking is not a bad idea at all, and this isn't a bad price for it. And to be honest, even if you just want to get one and have yourself the castle, still a decent idea. Now all that said and done, the ROI on this one is averaging out at 34%, so looks very good from that side of things, and it's really not surprising given everything that I've just said, everything that can be done with this, and a pretty decent price point. So don't miss out. Been out since August of 2021, so it's going to have had a decent run, about 3 years by the time it retires, but I pity the fool who will have missed out on this one. Don't let that be you. And then just to finish things out, we've got a couple of promotional ones that are going to be disappearing as well. So the Jade Rabbit, £18, $20, €20, obviously was a New Year set when it was the Year of the Rabbit. But of course, being a bunny, I'm sure there are going to be several people who'd like this for Easter as well. 24% ROI on it, will be disappearing within the next few months as well. As indeed will be the Christmas tree. Yes, unfortunately, this is not going to make it through until December of this year. So if you are going to be wanting it for Christmas, as much as it pains me to say it, you're going to have to start thinking about next Christmas now. Yes, we're only in March, but we're having to say it already. Decent little set, this one, obviously. It's got a 30% ROI attached to it based off of the £40 British or $45 and €45 RRP. And obviously it just looks fantastic if you want to have it in sort of the town square if you're doing a winter village scene. Lots and lots of options for it. So decent set, shame it's not going to last till Christmas. Get it while you can. And then just a quick shout out for the family reunion celebration. This one obviously came out in January. It was one of the New Year sets that we had this year. Now it won't be going around the middle of this year. That would be ridiculously quick. However, it is set to retire this year, so it may tick on over into January of 2025, but currently it's looking like it's going to be gone by the end of 2024. It's a good set. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I've actually done a review on this one, which you absolutely should watch. Even if you're not interested in the set, just watch it anyway, because, it helps me out. But in all seriousness, it was a decent review, and this is a good set. So if you have had your eye on it and were perhaps hoping for it to reduce down in price, there's a chance of that happening. But keep a close eye, because it'll be gone around the end of the year. And exactly the same thing can be said for the Auspicious Dragon. Another fantastic set, another one that I've done a fantastic review on, and one that you don't want to be missing out on. It is really quite special. It will be going though once again by around the end of the year, so both of those are going to have a short shelf life. Now at the moment the family reunion celebration has an ROI of 24%, our dragon here 26% attached to it, but I just think they make for lovely collection pieces. Got some absolutely wonderful parts usage in here, just a great looking thing overall, and obviously a shelf life of just around a year isn't that long. So with all that said and done, that brings this video to an end. Please consider liking, subscribe, hit join for exclusive content and perks, and turn on those subscription notifications because I've got more videos coming on a whole range of topics, but including other themes that will be retiring around the middle of this year and beyond. Thank you very much for watching. See you on the next one.